Back in the day, there's tribes of people, and they would go out and every morning, and they would hunt. They would hunt in this particular part of the world. They would hunt pigs, big wild pigs, and they'd go out every single day and they'd hunt, and they'd get their pig, and they'd bring it back, and the tribe would eat it and use it and go through all the things that you do with a pig. I guess I don't know. And then every day it was the exact same. They would go out, they would have to hunt, and it was just the same thing, day in, day out, day in, day out. And then this couple um, decided that they were going to build a fence. Right? They were going to build they were going to build a fence. They still went out every single day and they hunted. They still had responsibilities to feed their kids and their parents and the people in the tribe. But they, after the hunt, they would go and work on building this fence. And everybody's like, "What are you doing? You guys are working too hard. Just relax. We got to save up our energy to go and hunt the next day. What are you guys doing? You guys are absolutely crazy." They started building this pen, and then they started figuring out they could go get the pigs, and they could drag them into the pen. And they would grab a couple males, a couple females, and they made sure that they couldn't escape the pen. And then they really started nurturing these pigs, and making sure that they were safe and they were guarded and they were okay. And they didn't eat them. Right? Everybody's like, "Let's eat these things. Right? Let's take the day off. Let's eat these pigs. We won't go out. We won't hunt. We'll just do that." And they're like, "No, no, no. Let's just wait. Let's wait until we can get them to have more pigs and baby pigs, and they can grow, and they can be fatter, and we can get more out of these things." And people are like, "You guys are crazy." I mean, I'm over here, I'm chilling after I hunted for the day. I'm going to just live my life. That's great. Right? And this couple was like, "You know what? No, this is going to be big. This is going to be something that's really important. We're going to kind of push these things off, the satisfaction of eating these pigs, until we have a whole bunch of them." Right? And what that allowed them to do was grow this big amount of pigs in their pen, and they were able to make the pen bigger, and they had more time now, and they were able to start eating some of these, and they didn't have to go out and hunt every single day. And then all of a sudden it started growing and growing and growing and growing. And then all of a sudden they became the leaders of the tribe. They became the ones that were providing the most value, because people didn't have to go out and hunt anymore. They were able to have that food already ready for them. And in this story that I read, it was in this book. Um, that's an entrepreneur. That's exactly what an entrepreneur does, right? We still have to go out there and hunt every single day to take care of our responsibilities. Oftentimes, we have full-time jobs or part-time jobs, or we're in school full-time, or whatever other responsibilities we have. But it's that those times that we do outside of the hunt, the extra efforts that we take, the arrows that we take in the back from the people that love us the most, or people that just don't even know us, but they're like, "Why are you working so hard?" It's because if you're smart and you build something real, you get out of the rat race. You get out of that situation where you have to go out every single day and hunt. Do you know who the hunters are now? That's everybody that has a job. You have to go out and hunt. That's what that is. The entrepreneurs, the business owners that are building something up, and it starts off really slow, and it starts off really simple, and it starts off with a lot of effort in the beginning, longer than you ever thought, to get your pigs fat, and for them to have baby pigs, and for them to do these things. Right? It takes a lot longer than you expect, but the payoff is so much better. Right? Because most people have a job and then they have savings. The wealthy have businesses and they have assets. That's the difference. That's the difference of the people that live financially free. That is financial literacy. That's financial IQ. Is how can you build your pig pen, baby? How can you build it? And that's the whole point of the show. That's the whole point of why we're here. That's the whole point of being an entrepreneur. It's in you. You have that fire. You're that couple that is like, you know what? I want to do something different. I want to get out of the matrix. I want to get out of the rat race that we hear about so much in Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about building a real business. And it's going to take a lot more effort than you think. And it's going to have to be in those in-between times where you've got other things going on. But if you stay diligent and you stay consistent and you stay focused, it will win. It is impossible to lose. The only time you lose is when you quit. The only time you lose is when you quit. So just remember that. And I think that this is real sobering facts. And I've said it on this. I said this on this show so many times. The average American works from January through October to pay taxes and interest on debts. There's the facts. Do the math. If you look at the yearly living expenses left over after you've been taxed and the interest payments that you have 3 months. You have October, November, December. That's it of money that you can use for living expenses, let alone investments. We have to do better. We have to be stronger. We have to push harder. We have to hustle more. We have to take more imperfect action, massive imperfect action every single day. And that's how we get out of this. Because if you look at the stats, let me give you a couple more stats, and then we'll get into getting deals off of the MLS, off of listed properties. We'll go through all that and the scripts to use, and I've got some incredible guests, guys. In just a little bit, Tom Kroll, my mentor, your mentor, the coach of the coaches, is coming on to give us absolutely the best business knowledge that he possibly can. He's the best in the business. If you've been watching the show, you love him, you respect him. He's going to be on here soon. We've got John Galan. He lives in New York, but does business in Florida. He gets a tremendous amount of 6 figures a month doing deals with other wholesalers and off of the MLS. I've got Ryan Zolan, agent, investor, AI, baby. He's going to be here. We used to do a show together called Millionaire Before 30. He's absolutely incredible. Gets all of his deals off of the MLS. He's going to be talking about it. And we've got Dylan Trana, maybe his brother Brandon as well, the Trana Bros. They talk to 50 real estate agents every single day. We're going to see how they built that endurance. So we've got an incredible show. Plus we got giveaways. We've got games. We got what would you rather own? It's going to be a fantastic show. So strap in, get ready, and take a lot of notes in this. Okay. But if you look at this, look at the average stats. You can Google all this. After tax monthly income, $4,865. That's after tax. Your monthly interest payments on debt, not you, but the average interest payments. I think that's spelled wrong, but that's all right. I had Matt put this up like 5 minutes ago. Is $1,583. Monthly mortgage payments $2,000. Monthly rent payments $1,500. Net cash flow per month is $1,700 to $1,200 a month. That's $20,952 dollars or to $15,312 a year for living expenses. Average family spends $475 a month on food. The average cost right here, I was looking at all this. Average cost for health is $1,425 per person. The average house, by the way, the average house cost, the average cost to keep up a house is about $5,000 a year. So you buy a house and you have this income, and what's left over? What's left over to buy assets? What's left over for retirement? What's left over to really grow your wealth? We have to do better. We have to make more. We have to make more. The income has to be way higher than the expenses, right? Real quick, I'm going to go to the board, and this is just classic balance sheet and income statement, right? This is the classic one, right? You got your income, you got expenses, you got assets, you got liabilities, right? How much do you have here? How much is it going here? And how much is it going here? This is Rich Dad 101, right? This is financial literacy 101. We need to increase the amount of income we bring in. We need to talk to more people. We need to have quality conversations with property owners or people that represent property owners, and we need to make more offers. We can't be satisfied. There's something in all of us. There's a fire in our belly that says we will not be satisfied just being average. We're not going to be satisfied by just, getting by. Oh, money's not everything. You're right. Money is not the most important, but it affects everything that is. It's the facts. It affects everything that is. Healthcare, education, lifestyle, experiences, all of that stuff. And we have the ability, the beautiful ability, to have a cheat code for all of this. It's just making enough offers on properties. You make enough offers on properties, you start recognizing potential. Recognizing potential lets you know, is this a deal or not a deal? You start out with single family houses that are in rougher areas, and then you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you start recognizing potential of 500 unit apartment complexes, commercial buildings, development opportunities. This is how everybody starts. This is the path. We can all do this. We can all do this. That's what's so exciting. It's wide open to us. There's no restrictions. There's not something pressing down on us. We don't have a government that says, you can't do this. You have to stay right here. This is how much income you can make. Capitalism. It's absolutely incredible. So what is the determining factor? What's the pacing item of all of this? Us. We control it in our hands. Isn't that incredible? We determine this. If we're brave enough, if we have enough courage to reach out to strangers and see if they'll sell us their house, see if they'll sell us their property. Absolutely incredible. You guys are so powerful, more powerful than you know. If you don't think so, if you've never done a deal, you're so powerful. Get the proof of concept, do your first deal, get consistent so that you can go full-time in this business, build a real business that finds deals without you having to do it yourself, and buy assets. Boom, 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 boom. Now we're talking. Kill all the debt. Get off of somebody's. When you have debt, this is where you're at with the bank. This is where you're at with the credit cards. This is where you're at with student loans. This is where you're at with healthcare companies. You're an asset to them, but they're a liability to you. So imagine closing a deal for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Gone. I gave a bonus in 2021 to Chad Coulter, one of my acquisition managers. Boom. Instantly paid off his student debt. Oh, why didn't he put it into an investment? Why didn't he do this? He's debt-free. Now he's building assets because of his efforts. I'm telling you, I've coached a lot of people. I had the fortune to coach a lot of people since 2017. And the amount of people that are debt-free now because of this business is staggering. Staggering. Let alone the amount of people that are building true wealth by adding rentals and rentals and rentals. The greenhouses, they'll sell them all, boom, red hotel. Let's go. Oh, I'm fired up today, guys. I hope you're fired up today. Put in the comments section where you guys are from, if you're excited about this business, and any questions that you have. It's been real quiet in the chat today. Let's get absolutely bananas. This is silly. We don't have to do this show live if people don't want to participate, but that's the whole point of this. Let's participate so that we can get the questions answered. All right. Now, let's get into how to find deals on the MLS. I'm going to show you exactly what I would do, what we do. Not as much as the experts that I'm going to be bringing on here. But the first thing that I like doing is this. I like going in and searching the median home price. Okay. And there's a reason for this. Median home price here, I just did Orlando just as a random city, is 386,000. Okay. And then I go into Zillow. Guys, this is all free. You go into Zillow and share the tab instead. There you go. And what I like doing is I like going about 100 grand, maybe lower on the price point, because typically if you're under the median sale price, it's properties that are in original condition or need some love, or they're smaller properties in kind of like a starter neighborhood, which is great. This is bread and butter for the cash buyers and investors that we sell our deals to, right? And so I've got this pulled up here. So I just put in for sale, right? You can go for sale, obviously. I did up to 250. I just want to kind of see what the vibe is there in Orlando. I did just single family houses. That's the easiest one to sell. So if you're just getting started, go after houses. I mean, you could certainly do manufactured if they own the land. You can do townhouses, you could do condos, you could do all those things. It's a lot easier for us to sell our deals that are single family. There's a bigger pool of those buyers. And then I've got an agent listed, foreclosures, auctions, and coming soon, right? I select all of those and I apply it. And then I look here and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to this one and I'm going to look at these pictures. And guys, I want ugly houses. I'm not just calling on any listing that's been on the market for a while. Look at this thing. It's look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is fantastic. Look, kind of, in the middle, not even of a remodel. I guess they were putting some floors down. That's terrifying. I don't know what that is. Um, equally terrifying. Um, this is getting better and better every picture I look at. This property needs significant investment. So, what I would do is I would go to the listing here. And what you want to do, guys, make sure that you go to this right here. You need the listing provided by. This is who you want to reach out to. Okay. This highlighted section right here, listed, provided by Amy. You want to go there. It's been on 4 days. They probably have some offers, but it doesn't matter. I'm calling up anyway. Don't do this contact agent part. Don't do the request a tour. You're just going to make somebody really angry because people pay for those leads. So just call the listing agent right here and ask them these questions. All right. These are the questions that I want you to hit them with. Right here. Boom. Listed property questions. I love this first question. Is it still available? Right. So that was, let me see what this, Letha Street, 5265. I would call up Amy and say, hey, Amy, it's Brent Daniels. Right. And they're like, they don't know who I am, but almost every time they're like, yeah, oh, yeah, of course. Of course it's Brent Daniels. Right. You got to sound like, you're who you are. I mean, to sound like you already know them, not who you are, obviously, but sound like you already know them. Sound like this is a conversation you have all the time. Hey, this is Brent Daniels. I was calling about your listing there on Letha. Is that still available? Why do we ask that question? Do you know? And by the way, I've listed a lot of properties. I've sold a lot of properties traditionally as an agent. When you have to say yes, it is still available, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. You're like, oh man, I haven't done my job yet. I haven't got this sold yet. Why isn't this going? Is the market crashing? Do they have to get out of this as soon as possible? What is happening? Right? The sky is falling. Is it still available? Yes. Boom. Fantastic. And then I like going into, and this is just something that you can play around with, but um, have you received any? Are you getting a bunch of lowball offers? Is there offers that your clients already rejected, right? And usually, what this does is this opens up the window a little bit. It opens up the opportunity for them to say, "Oh yeah, people are giving us offers at 200,000, 150,000, 60,000, 280. My seller won't do it. They have no interest in selling at that price." Okay, great. So you're getting a little bit more information. Now, some agents, old school, are going to be like, um, yeah, we've got some offers, but the seller hasn't accepted them. Nothing that's acceptable to the seller so far. Okay, so what are we talking about? Are they coming in super low, like 50 grand, 60 grand lower, 70 grand lower? I can't discuss that. You're just going to have to submit an offer, and I'll present it, and I'll put it in front of my client. Right? That's probably the worst case. More like, and by the way, you keep the conversation going. The longer you keep conversation going, the more information you're going to pick up. You're going to be able to read between the lines in these conversations with the listing agent. Okay, and so they're always putting the bubble up. They're kind of putting it. Oh, okay, great, great, that's awesome. Just, I mean, I see that it's been on like 92 days. Um, how flexible are they? Right? And I didn't say how flexible are they on price. I don't ask yes or no questions. If you look at this, is it still available? I want them to say yes. That's powerful. By the way, these are all purposeful. These are all mostly open ended questions because I want the conversation to breathe. I want to be able to put my personality into it. I want to be able to use my tone of voice. I want to get them to laugh a little bit, not by manipulation, by having human connection, right? A lot of people call up and they're like, is there offers? What will they take? Will they take this? Or do you think they'll take this? And it's just like the agents are like, oh my gosh, like they don't even want to submit your offer. They're just like, ugh, brother, ugh. You know what I mean? I love that meme. Oh, it's in my head all the time. You know what I mean? But seriously, that's what you got to build in your personality. You got to build a relationship, right? It's influence. It's not manipulation, right? There's a big difference there. It's just human connection. And so I want to open up I want open-ended questions so that I can get the idea of what's going on. And I'll tell you this, and this probably sounds bad for the industry, but the best agents that make the most money, that sell the most amount of houses, will just be straight with you. They'll be like, yeah, they rejected 150,000. I can't get them to take it. I think that it was a decent offer. I think that they should move on it. But I just can't. You know what I mean? That's like the wrong way to do it, because you have fiduciary duty and you got to play it like an attorney would. Well, it depends. It depends. Everything's it depends, right? With an attorney and a really good or old school trained agent. But I find that the people that are making the most and selling the most properties are honest with you. It's awesome. And so how flexible are they? I didn't say price. I didn't say terms. I didn't say anything. I just said, how flexible are they? That's like more about the seller than about the property, right? Again, in the discovery process, it's all about discovering what's going on with the person, not the property. The property is something that's going to come and go. It's going to be part of their life, and then it'll be out of their life, and that's it. But the person, how do we communicate to them, right? The great question. Yeah, you know what? They're not. If they don't get this, then um we'll just keep it on the market or whatever. Okay, if they don't sell it at the price, what's the plan? Oh, they'll take it off the market. They'll fix it up themselves. He's a really wealthy investor. She's a really wealthy investor. They don't need to sell it. They're just kind of testing out the market right now. All those things, right? Okay, that's awesome. How open are they to taking payments on it? Because remember this, guys, when it comes to negotiating, there's 3 points: price, terms, and you. That's it. Price, we get what that is. That's just how much they get. The terms, how do they get that? And then do they trust you to get the job done? You could have the best price and terms, and if they're like, these guys, they could never close. They're just yahoos. They'll never do business with you. They'll never get an accepted agreement, right? But if they want a ridiculous price, like for example, if you look at some of these ones that have been on the market a while, um, you'll see that they need complete rehab and they're listed above Zillow price, right? So, okay, I can give them that price, but it'll have to be in payments. Are they open to payments? How open do they are to payments? Yeah, they'd consider it. And every agent's going to tell you the same thing. They want 20% down. They want 7 to 8% interest rate. They want a balloon payment in 2 years. I have heard that. If I ask an agent 100 times, I will probably get 92 and a half times that response. 20% down, 7 to 8% interest rate, and 2-year balloon. And we know the 5, 10, 50 rule, right? We don't want to put more than 5% down. Zero is preferred. we want 10-year balloon payment, and we want to give them 50% of what the current rents are for a monthly payment. That's where we need to be. That's a big difference. But we can still, okay, it's open to that. Let's see if they really want this off their hands. So you can turn something into a creative finance deal if it's owned free and clear. Obviously, there's some, assuming the loan or taking the loan subject to or something like that is an option as well for some of these listings. But I highly suggest when you're starting out, go after ugly houses um, that have equity, they have motivation, and you could put that property under contract and boom, um, sell that to somebody else or take it down yourself and fix it up and put traditional financing on it or fix it up and sell it. Right. So, but if you're in a state, which, 48 states allow you to wholesale, um, and most of them don't require a license to wholesale, I would just assign it to somebody because it's the lowest risk. But if you want to raise funds in those other markets, you can make a fortune. I love when they put restrictions on certain states. It might sound um, like I would fight that and be mad about it, but I think it just offers more potential for the people that are serious about this business. All right, and then the other one is no, 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 no. They're not giving us anything. The seller's ridiculous. They're not going to actually sell it at a price or list it or accept an offer at a price that'll cause it to sell. Um, so then you hit them with the fifth one. What other listings do you have that are in original condition and need some work? What else do you have? I want to be your best buyer, Amy. Amy, I listen. I'm sure that you work with a lot of investors. I'm sure you have a top investor that you work with. I just want to be backup, right? I just want to be the side chick, right? That's what I want to be. You know what I mean? I just want to be, if that one can't come through on a deal, you take it to me, or maybe they run out, or maybe they're pausing, maybe they're on vacation. You come across a great deal. I'd love for you to reach out to me. Now we're building relationships. Now we're building that top 30. Do you know what the top 30 is? Let me remind you, top 30. Find 30 people that you talk to on a regular basis, that you build a real relationship with, that will send you one deal a year. Average deal size $15K, $450,000 by just your top 30. This is how you build it up. This is how you build it up. So that's those are the questions for listed properties. Okay, those are the questions that you need to go through and just ask every single listing agent that you talk to. And if you're talking to the ones that have listings that are in really rough shape, like the ones, let me share this again. What is it? Share window? Is it window, Matt? Yeah. To show all of them. Yeah, that's it. Boom. You find properties that are in this kind of shape, guys, and you talk to enough listing agents on listings that look like that, it's going to take a lot. The average is you're going to have to talk to 200 to get one deal. That's the average. And we'll ask the Trainer brothers because they talk to 50 a day. I think they talk to 50 a day each, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll see. But you talk to enough listing agents that have these type of listings. By the way, this isn't the only type of listing. This isn't the only listing that these agents run across that are in this shape. Okay. Um, yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful property. It looks beautiful to me. When they're nice, I'm like, oh, that's great. I have no interest in you. You know what I mean? Like I want to go after those really, really rough ones. I want to go after the ones that, oh boy, I don't even know what's happening here. Stop screen. Boom. Sorry for making you guys go into eternity there. But here again, guys, listed properties. Here's your questions to ask. And remember this, guys, just as a simple guide, this isn't perfect, but this will get you a good, in a good spot. If you're looking at the Zestimates, because you're right there on Zillow, it's free, and you're looking at the listed properties and you're wondering where you need to be, this is a really, really strong approach here, right? And you'll see oftentimes they're not going to be listed at Zillow if they need some work, if they're, if they're realistic at all. But every time we'll have a Zestimate on there. And so just play around with this and look at making offers in this range. So if it's $250,000 or more, you're at 50%. If it's between 250 and 100, you're at 35%. And if you're at 100,000, it's 10%. Guys, this is for ugly houses. This is for houses that need significant rehab. Okay? That's what this is. And so don't be throwing these things out at really nice looking properties. One, you're just spinning your wheels, and two, it's very difficult to build a good relationship with a good agent that's going to send you ugly houses on a regular basis that you can then turn over to your cash buyers or yourself and make on average $15,000. All right, awesome. So that's again, here's the questions. Make sure you take a screenshot out of it. We will have this up periodically. I'll just throw this up as we go through the show. Tom, I don't know where Tom's at. Tom's supposed to be here, but he's probably, solving some issues for somebody, if I know Tom. Here we go. We got a couple questions. Dominique, locked up an on-market sub 2 this week in Tacoma, Washington. What are we talking about? Dominique Card IG, Mr. Dom Card himself. Great job. Absolutely incredible. I like Tacoma, Washington for a buy and hold area. Northwest Legacy Home Buyers. I assume NW means Northwest. What else could it mean? I don't know. Is it better to wholesale locally or nationally? I love this question. This is the decision you have to make. Let me go to the board here, and give you just some perspective on national versus local, because I think this is really important to understand. If you're going local, then what you want to do is you want to master one of the marketing channels, whether it's inbound or outbound. Usually it's outbound marketing, which is cold calling, texting, and door knocking. And then once you get this down and you're really building, then you want to add a bunch of different marketing channels. Mail, PPC, this is the top of the pyramid always. PPL is really good here. Just any inbound TV, all that stuff, right? Traditional marketing. Local, at some point you want to be able to do multiple marketing channels, okay? And then you also, it's really important that you have multiple exit strategies. You need to have a realtor on your team for sure, right? Have a realtor that you can send all the traditional business to and get them to pay for your marketing if you don't have a license, or if you do have a license, get a 50-50 commission split. It's awesome. It'll pay for all your marketing if you set it up right. You need to obviously be able to assign, right? Assign it, flips. You got to be able to understand flips at some point, novations, and creative. Okay. You got to know, you got to add more tools to your toolbox here, or at least bring somebody on your staff that does at some point. You want to stay focused. Just stay focused here if you can for as long as you can. It's the lowest amount of risk. Now, if you go national, you pick one marketing channel and one, that's a crazy one, looks like an I, one exit strategy. You will get absolutely destroyed, and it better be assignments. That's really the only way that you're going to do this. Because if you start flipping in a different state, forget about it. You're going to get destroyed by contractors. You're going to get destroyed by not knowing the market well enough. You're going to get destroyed by all of that,
right? Truly what people do is they go, okay, I'm going to do a PPL. I'm going to buy paper leads, and then I'm going to put it on Investor Lift and sell them. And it's a good strategy. It really is a good strategy if you're really good on the phones, you got really good sales skills, and if you can get over the fact that you're going to have to cancel 70 to 80% of the deals you lock up. You're gonna have to have that conversation with the seller that says, you know what, it just didn't work out, or try to get a price reduction or whatever else. But it gets this is where I see is the toughest part. It takes a very specific person to be able to cancel 70 to 80% of their deals. You know what I mean? And so that's really where you have to look at. And I would just buy leads. Right, you can go to TTP Leads is our portal through Property Leads, iSpeed to Lead, motivatedleads.com are all PPLs, pay per lead. Set your budget, get enough leads, lock them up. Just assume that you're going to have to cancel 70 to 80% of them. That's real. This is real for virtual. Kind of depends. If you're doing virtual local, it's a lot better because you understand the buyers and you understand deal or no deal, right?
And you understand the price points. Oh no, Tom had to. His son had a fever, and maybe we'll get him on. We'll see. But let's keep going with some questions, guys. Crispy Bacon, Brent, I have a deal under contract and assigned, but the probate attorney wants an appraisal. What would you do? First of all, Crispy Bacon, hello, come on. Victory bell for you. They always will. Yeah, not a problem. I'll tell you what, Crispy, I have every single time, and it's ugly properties, right? These are rundown properties. Appraisers like lose their mind. They will be like, "Oh my God, this is so gross." They're like, so they're very like, I don't know if prissy is the word, but they're like used to going into like luxury homes. They're used to going into listed homes, and then they get an appraisal to go in to a house that's completely destroyed, and they're like, "This house needs $500,000 worth of work, and it needs 50,000." You know what I mean? They don't know. Some of them kind of know, but they're like, they will look for the worst properties, the worst comps, the worst things. It usually works in your benefit. Usually works in your benefit. So I wouldn't. Great. Do it. All right. Awesome. Juice Zapata. Do we ever disclose we are wholesalers or wholesaling the property, and what's verbiage if asked? Yeah, it's in our contract. In Arizona, you have to disclose it, but we've always disclosed it. I don't know if we have is there ways that people can download our contract anymore? Is that, guys, we had this whole academy of a bunch of free downloads. It was awesome. And somebody overseas keeps constantly hacking it or doing something to it. So maybe we could put it in a drive, Matt. We'll figure that out. But yeah, it's in the disclosure. Yeah. The right to market the property, the right to put a memorandum on the property, the right to put it on the MLS is in the purchase agreement. I think, if we don't have it, you could definitely get it from Jerry Norton. Jerry Norton has a bunch. I think you could buy a whole pack for like $10, or maybe it's free, so that he gets your email and then he can, talk to you that way. But yeah, I mean, if you use any, Pace Morby uses the same one that I use for wholesaling. It's written by the same guy, Sean St. Clair. Really, really awesome real estate attorney that's helped us out so much with the verbiage and keeping us really tight. But it's like 3 pages, I think, maybe 4 with a signature page. It's really good. But yeah, we always disclose. We're truth tellers and truth seekers, Juice. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to know what we're doing. And the only time we run across issues is on market properties. Well, let me say this too about on market properties. maybe I don't want to go there yet. Maybe I want to wait and ask this to the experts that are coming. I'll wait. I'll wait to ask. What's different between on market versus off. But if it's an agent that's been burned on an on market property, they're going to be really no wholesaling, no assignment of the deal, non-assignable. Right? They're going to want that verbiage in there. Great, transactional funding or raise the funds. I mean, if you really look at it, and I've really been studying this recently, because I've been so head down in just all the different cool strategies that we have in real estate. But if you look at the fundamentals of really owning a lot of real estate, property management's number one. Your ability to manage your properties is number one. Number two is your ability to raise funds. Right? Like once you like are going to actually take them down. So three different exit strategies. Let's go to the board.
Let's go to the board, right? I'll just do this. Oh, actually, we have that graphic, don't we, Matt? Of what to do with the lead. Anyway, really, guys, for us, you assign it, you buy and flip, or you buy and hold. Now, these pay for this, right? But if you want to get in and start cherry picking, you have to have the ability to raise funds. The only way that you can raise funds here and manage a property that's going to be long lasting, a great asset, is understanding, is it a deal or not a deal? Understanding the numbers behind it. If you want to get like CPA, understand the pro forma of a deal, right? What price point is it a no-brainer deal to raise funds and or assign it, or take it down and flip it, right? This is like you average 15K here. This one is you average probably, I would say, if flippers were being real honest and they weren't trying to like, oh, I don't make anything on my deals, and they're trying to like mess with you dispo wise, I bet you're probably making 30K a flip, right? It's double the amount, but it's way more time, way more effort, way more skills involved here. And then your buy and hold. I mean, this is what makes millions, right? This is millions. It's just slow. But being able to raise the funds and being able to evaluate deals. Look at this. I'm just going crazy today. Just going crazy. We got so many good deals right now. I'm just pumped. We got 6 appointments today with just ugly houses. Woo! Pay-per-click, baby. I'm telling you, all roads lead to pay-per-click. If you really want to get into it, here you go. The only other thing that I would have here that we need to add, Matt, maybe for next week, is buy and lend. Right? When you actually buy it and then you turn around and you be the bank, either buy a wrap or you do owner finance is probably the other one. But every lead, there's different opportunities. Oh, it's a beautiful house. They want to put it on the market. Great. Refer it to an agent. Oh, it's a dated house, but it's not totally destroyed and they want a certain price that's like 80% of what it'll sell for once it's fixed up. Great. Novation. Oh, this house needs work. It needs investment. This house is gross. Boom. Cash as is. This house is gross, but I want to get 30,000 instead of 15,000. I want to get 60 instead of 30, whatever it is. I'm going to flip it. Or you know what? I'm going to start taking these things down. I'm going to start building the skills of property management. And I'm going to start building long-term wealth. I'm going to start really building out that pig pen. And if you're just joining us, refer to the first 15-minute rant. All right. Phil, can I offer buyer's agent more than 4% commission or even half my assignment fee? That legal? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you write it right in your assignment. Phil's company makes X amount and a commission to a buyer's agent. It's going to be the buyer's broker because all money goes through the brokerage. Goes in the assignment, and boom, absolutely. Yeah. It's just put it on your assignment agreement. And then, by the way, Phil, just clean it up with your closing attorney or escrow officer, right? Any kind of paperwork stuff. Listen, I didn't know anything, like literally nothing. Like I don't know, like I would write stuff and be like, oh, this sounds smart. And it would just be silly. And so I just would go to my escrow officer and I'd say, hey, listen, how do I write this for it to make sense? Because it only has to make sense to the title company. The title company is like the middleman here. So if the title company is like, oh yeah, just use this verbiage, and I sign it and the seller signs it, reshoot, gets done. So just if you're ever wondering like, oh, I don't know what to say here, and I don't know how to put this in the contract, and I don't know how to do this and that, talk to your escrow officer or closing attorney. They'll give you it all. It's like the best free education ever. And now you have it forever. And you have different scenarios that pop up. Boom, 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 boom. Jeremy does this on a daily basis. There's always little nuances stuff that has to happen either in the assignment or the purchase agreement or whatever else. Or Aaron Coulter, Chad's wife, who's our transaction coordinator. All right. Jacob Simpson, REI. For direct to seller, do you recommend a company like Call Motivated Sellers still, or hire out VAs? Yeah, they're the top of the top. They are American callers that have 10,000 hours logged. You know what I mean? They are really, 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 really solid. So yeah, they're the best of the best. Jacob, I would say without a doubt, you need to talk to 1,000 people yourself before you hire anybody to make your calls. Oh no, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm much. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not talking about you, Jacob. This is what I hear all the time in the comments, in my DMs, in everything, in other people's It's bananas. Oh, you're an entrepreneur. You're at 30,000 feet, bro. No, you're not. You're self-employed. Go make the calls. Be on the field for a while. Take 1,000,000 free throw shots to get good at it, and then get into the owner's box. You're on the court. You're on the field. You didn't earn the right to be a business owner. Get out of here. You can't just, I'm an entrepreneur. Okay. You're an aspiring one, but go do the work. I knocked 15,000 doors. I talked to 45,000 property owners over the phone myself before I hired anybody. You got to get in the dirt, and those are skills that have lasted forever. They last forever. Take everything away. Take all the money away. Boom, they take it. What are you going to do, Brent? You're destitute. I'm going to call up some property owners. I'm going to get a deal. That's what I'm going to do. Can't do that if all the skill is in your VAs. And by the way, they don't have the skill like you do. They're good. Call Motivated Sellers the best. But the stats were I would get a deal 1 out of 200 conversations. They get one out of 2,000. You do a VA from a foreign country, it's like 1 out of 10,000 conversations. That's real. Anybody that tells you otherwise, you're in their funnel. And you'll find out. You'll find out. What about all their testimonials they have? It's their homies. There we go. Javier, is the formula different for getting the max allowable offer when working with an agent? No. You still need smoking deals.
I mean, I would say you have to be more aggressive, in my opinion, just because your buyers are going to see that it was listed, right? And if it's like, oh, I get this all the time because I comp the properties for the Rhino Tribe, the credible people in the coaching program, and oh, this property's listed. It's been on the market 90 days. It's listed for 150. Zillow's 225. I think they'll take 145. You got to be 20 to 30% under the list price. You got to be more aggressive because there is a stigma that is attached to a property that's sitting on the market. And the reverse side, you can sell your properties for more if it's off market because everybody loves the idea of insider knowledge. Nobody else knows about this. I'm the only investor that knows this secret list, right? You should hear cash buyers and flippers talk to like their family. They're like, oh, you couldn't get the deals that I do. You couldn't find the deals that I do. And it's us giving it to them. It's hilarious. So, I mean, you want to make sure that you're still sticking to that the 50 35 10. That's going to get you in a nice spot. But if it's been listed on the market for a while and it's already at those numbers, you got to be 30 to 70% lower. Great question. Great question. Cornell M. Hey, Brent, we are here watching, bro. Can you advise what that percentage to use for the Atlanta, Georgia market based on inventory, that chart you post sometimes? Yeah. So go in, find out your inventory, find out how many months of inventory you have. So you take the actives and you divide it by the pending amount of properties. All right. So I'll just do it for you here, bro. You go to realtor.com and I'll share this in just a sec. Keep that in there. Um, Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia. Here we go. Oh, where are we? Where are we? I'm over here. Let me share this. Present. Share screen. Window. Boom. Share. And now we're here. Okay. So in Atlanta, you see this number up at the top left, 65. Write this number down. 6537. Okay. And then you go to listing status here, guys, and you get rid of the hide, pending, and contingent. Okay. So now we have 5171. All right. Now subtract the you're over. I could already tell you that you're over. You got to be 70% minus repairs, just so that you know. Quick math there. But you would subtract the 6537 by 5171. Okay. Oh, just got a PPC lead. Boom. Tempe, Arizona. Let's go. Got a smoking one at 2 a.m., Luke. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. This property looks like the worst nightmare you've ever seen. I love it. Let me get in here. We've got 6537 minus 5171 equals 13. You only got 1,366 homes pending in Atlanta. That is bananas. So then what I do is, so you got 5171 active. You divide that by the 1366. So I took 6537. I subtracted 5171 to get the amount of pending listings because we hid the pending. I wish it was a lot easier to just go show pending. But it's 1366. That means there's 5171 active. You divide that by 1366, and you've got it's probably 3 months of inventory, right? 5171 divided by 1366. It's almost 8 months of inventory. Now you could play around with it. I would in a big market like Atlanta. I would play around with price points. You might do something like under, the max is 700,000, right? Or whatever your market. Let's go max 500,000. And there's 34. Hold on. Let's not hide the. So there's 4273 actives there, and then you hide the pendings, and we've got 3,400. Man, I'll tell you what, you're at like 3.5, 4 months of inventory in Atlanta. I mean, I would highly suggest that you use 70% minus repairs, unless it's a smoking hot. Put it in the comments here if you're having a problem, dispo and deals, or if the buyers are being a little bit tighter, Cornell. That'd be real interesting to know. Are they are they beating you up on the prices that you're putting out there? Because it looks like it. William Brown, guys, we're going to do a giveaway here in just a bit. And then I'm going to bring on an incredible guest here at the top of the hour. Who do we got? We got John Galan coming on first. William Brown, any good strategies for negotiating a lower purchase price after already going under contract? Got a deal. I may need to go 10 to 20K lower to make it work for my buyer. Yeah, there's a couple different approaches to a price reduction. one, if you didn't set it up initially, and if you've promised them the world and the stars, and you outbid somebody on a deal, it's like 90% it's not going to happen. Right. The best thing is if it's a, you came in at 150, they're like, I won't take anything more than less than 170. You're like, I'll try to make it work. But if it doesn't, I'll let you know, you know, I'll let you know what price we can get it closed at. I think we can make it work, but I'm not 100% sure. Then that kind of plants the seed. But if you're like, oh, I'll beat that offer, and you beat somebody else's offer, and now you can't buy it for that price, you're gonna be on your back foot. It's gonna be real tough. So you got two choices, William. Hey, Mr. Seller, I gotta cancel. The property, actually, the numbers just don't pencil out once we've really looked at it, once we put it into our pro forma. Just say that. They're like, what? Nobody knows what a pro forma is. Anyway, once we put it in the pro forma, it didn't work. I'm going to have to cancel. They go, whoa, 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 what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And be like, yeah, unfortunately, I would have to, and I know you won't take this. I know you won't take this, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, but I would have to be at 130 to be able to make sure that this thing closes and closes on time. But I know you won't take that. So I just don't want to waste your time and just get it canceled and move on. Right. And so that's one approach. The other approach is, hey, I made a mistake. I thought the numbers were going to work. It doesn't. I'm going to need a price reduction. Based on the condition, it's a little bit more work, or based on what's going on right now in the neighborhood and some of the comparables that just popped up. We're kind of in a bad position. I don't want to waste your time, but I'm going to have to be 30 grand lower, right? So you got those two routes, William. And honesty is the best. Having a good conversation with them, tell them the truth, that you screwed up or that you have to cancel, and what price works. And here's the key, William. Do not get a price reduction unless it's already sold. If you got a buyer that's ready to put 5,000 non-refundable down today at a certain price, and you know that they're guaranteed and they've got a good reputation, get the price reduction. Do not get a price reduction if you're like hoping that once it's lower, you can sell that deal. Because going for another price reduction or cancellation, the energy that you get from that seller is so nasty. It just, ugh. And maybe some people have that thick, shell around them. But it seeps in. I don't care how thick your shell is. That's going to seep in, and it's going to affect your deals because you're going to be thrown off your game for a little bit. It might be an hour, but in that hour, you could have had the best deal of your life. So I don't like any of that gross energy coming at me. You know what I mean? So make sure that you set that up. All right. Awesome. You guys are amazing so far with these questions. I'm going to get to the rest.
Awesome. John Gallant's here. I think he's putting his cats away. He's running in all the way from New York City. New York City. There's an old Pace Picante salsa commercial. They used to say that, Luke. Yeah. So,
John Gallant, how are you, bud?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Galan. Sorry.
Galan, that's fine. Everybody calls me Galan in real estate for some reason.
When did you get into wholesaling?
January of 2022.
How many deals off the MLS you think?
Ooh, off the MLS, we've done about 200 since 2022. So I would say maybe like 100 and over 100. I know that for a fact, over 100.
By the way, John, you got a lot of fans in the chat here. A lot of people know you, bud.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
This is great. You got a lot of good positive energy coming your way. So, and you do it all virtually. Is that right?
Yeah. First time I actually went to Tampa in my life was last 4th of July.
Awesome. So, one, what's the difference between on market and off market? On versus off market. What do we need? What resources? What expectations do we have to have for on market deals that we don't for off market deals?
Yeah, and are you talking like for off market? Are you meaning like off market through agents, like pocket listings, or off market in general?
Yeah, just in general.
Well, for on market, you need to work with agents. That's the like one of the biggest difference is you're talking to a listing agent on the property that is already listed on market,
Yeah.
with the price already set, right? And you could use, I mean, you could do that free. You could use softwares like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, and then you could also just use your cell phone and a free version of Podio and just start calling and locking up properties that way. But for off market, you're going to need somewhat of some sort of software, whether you're using like Prop Stream or Batch Leads. You could even utilize Privy for some off market. You could also do
Mm.
off market free if you go the agent off market route, which is where you just download a list of realtors in an area and
Yep.
you just cold call them, asking them for any properties that they have coming soon. And again, with that, you could still utilize like Podio or and your cell phone or Google Voice. However, I would recommend if you're doing massive amounts of outreach to have somewhat of a CRM to where you could keep your leads organized, your contacts organized, and your follow ups almost automated at that point,
Yep.
as well as your task list, right? So the biggest difference is like on market is a lot cheaper than off market if you're going straight direct to seller off market.
Right. But is there certain documentation that we need for on market deals? Is there, can we just send them the contract that we would send to a property owner?
Yeah, no. So when you're working on market, you're going to be using the state contract by the that the realtors use. So, like for instance, in Florida, it's the FAR contract. So we have to use that whenever we get a property on the contract. I can't send them, like a TTP purchase agreement and say, "Hey, have your seller sign this." You're like, "No, no, no. We got to use the realtor contract." So you have to use realtor contracts when you go on market.
Is it important to read the realtor contract?
No, just sign anything. It's fine. Yeah, no,
Okay.
you gotta read those contracts. You gotta know what they're saying. You gotta like, for instance, in I think in like North Carolina, it's automatically non-assignable unless you have like an addendum. But in
Mm,
Florida, you have a section, it's called Section 7 assignability, and there are three boxes. If
yep.
box one or two are checked, you could assign the deal. If none of them are checked or box three is checked, then you can't assign the deal. So like you got to understand certain nuances in your state contract. Every state contract is different. So if you say, "Hey, how do I know if a California contract is assignable, or what do I have to look for in there?"
Yep.
I don't know. But in Florida, like I'll tell you where you got to look, what areas your eye should go to automatically, and then pretty much once you read it once, you're pretty much good to go with that.
Well, let's go through that process, John. So let's say that you are going to California. How would you understand that purchase agreement? Just what would you do?
I mean, first off, I'd find a big wholesaler that is doing a lot of business, and I would
How
ask
would you find them?
either Facebook, I mean, mostly Facebook, or if I'm in part of a community, like if I'm in TTP
Yep.
or Astro or something, I would just make
Yep.
a post be like, "Hey, who's doing a lot of deals in California? I have a question on the California realtor contract."
If you're not in any mentorship groups, what would you do
I'd either
on
connect with
Facebook?
an agent. I'd go if I'm local, I'd go to like meetups and meet with the wholesaler. I join a bunch of different Facebook groups for that market, like California wholesalers or something like that. Um, and then I just ask around. I would ask anybody that I knew or anybody that I knew in wholesaling if they know anybody in that market that I could connect with. Because you don't want to just connect with anybody, right? I don't want to connect with a brand new person in Cali that has the same questions that I do.
Right.
I want somebody that knows the market, knows the contract. But another thing you could do is connect with the buyer's agent also in California and ask them for, hey, what do I got to look out for on the realtor contract if I'm going to wholesale?
Yeah, but why would a successful wholesaler want to even talk to you? Wouldn't
Because
they
you're,
be like, ugh?
cause you're going to send them deals.
Oh, you mean collaboration?
Oh, yeah. Collaboration over competition.
That's
Always.
it. Always.
Always.
Guys, you have to have there is not there are not gatekeepers anymore. And if they are, they're it's just old school and weird. And or they're just shady. So you don't even want to mess with those people anyway. So find somebody that has a big heart for this business
Yep.
and they love talking about themselves and they love talking about their business. Even more, they love JVing and doing deals. They love
Oh,
free
yeah.
deals.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's better to a real estate entrepreneur than free deals because then you're like, I made it, baby. I've got a reputation. You know what I mean?
I mean, most of our JV deals are now inbound. And like you could tell too, like this is another thing. If you're reaching out, like you also want to be cognizant of how you're reaching out and like what you're asking too. Like I could tell from the first conversation if this person's going to be like putting in the work and actually sending deals, or if they're just going to be asking one or two questions, sending me every single address that they ever get sent to them and ask me to comp every single address for them, or if they're going to, actually be a fruitful relationship. And the ones that I could tell, I'm like, yeah, this person's they're gonna do really well. Like I'll
Yep.
spend the time with them because that's a VIP wholesaler right there. Because I know in the beginning of the relationship, I'm probably going to sell 100% of their deals, and then
Yep.
as they start building their team, it might dwindle down a little bit, but I always need a constant revolving door of VIP wholesalers to keep the JV operation running.
Love it. Proof of funds. What's that?
I mean, it's pretty much just proof that you could purchase the property. And one of the biggest questions that other wholesalers ask me is like, how do I get a proof of funds? I mean, you could. There are like Jamil, I know, has a proof of funds. There's I think Pace has a proof of funds. I'm not sure. I don't, Brent. I don't know if you do either. But I mean, there
No.
you could get proof of funds. I forgot what Jamil's website is.
Jerry does a great job.
Jerry does, but
Jamil does a great job. A
I'll
lot
tell
of
you
people
something
get it from
crazy.
Kogo Capital.
I'll
What's
tell you
that?
something. I'll tell you something crazy. The
Yeah.
best thing you can do for a proof of funds is connect with hard money lenders in your area
Thank you.
and get a proof of funds from them and refer buyers to them, especially when you know one of your buyers might have a lending issue on a deal or their lenders over leveraged. We have like 5 different hard money lenders sending us proof of funds, and it also makes us better because if every single person in the market is using the same proof of funds
Yep.
from the same place, it's a little suspicious, especially if they got caught wholesaling from agents or not doing good business, they're going to think you're a little sketchy. So when you get it from a hard money lender, it's different. It's more legit, I would say. And also, we've had plenty of our proof of funds lenders we got it from. They came and saved the deal for us because our other buyer's lender dropped the ball, and we
Yep.
we, we scooped them in. So we've done deals with them too.
Guys, I got a video on the channel on how to get that proof of funds from a local hard money lender, but I'd love to get your advice, John. What would you do? You go into, let's put you in North Dakota, and you need to get a hard money proof of funds. What steps would you take?
Do they do deals in North Dakota?
I don't know. I don't. I didn't even know.
So am
I
I
don't even know
local?
where it's at.
Am
No,
I local in North Dakota in this situation?
no. This is all you
All
over the
virtual.
phone.
All virtual. I mean, first thing I do is like you could just one Google hard money lenders in North Dakota, right? Google hard money lenders in my area, and just kind of see what's coming up on Google. Obviously look for reviews, look for if they have any testimonials or even like a Google review as well. That helps a lot. You could call a bunch of agents in that area and see if they know any lenders. Like, hey, I'm new to the area. I'm getting into fixing and flipping. Do you have any hard money lenders that you would recommend that I could connect with? You could call other title companies, see if they have any hard money lender that is funding a lot of their deals. Say that you want to use them for your deals and you want a reputable lender. It's hard to trust everything on the internet nowadays. So do you know anybody that funds a lot of deals that maybe you could connect me with and I could give them a call and use them and your title company for my deals? So there's so many different ways to go about it. And look, yeah,
Hardmoolah.com, North Dakota's #1 hard money lender or whatever. I mean, listen, I literally just Googled and by the way, if there's this many results in
North
North
Dakota.
Dakota, imagine everywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what John's talking about. Just literally Google it, call
Yeah.
them up and build a relationship with them and they will send you a proof of funds or what is it? A letter of credit. Yeah.
Yeah. And you just be honest with them too. Be like, hey, I'm a wholesaler in the area. I plan on doing a bunch of deals and I will refer you also to my buyer. So like instead of just saying, hey, what's up? It's John. Can I have a proof of funds so I could, wholesale real estate properties? They're like, nope, like you're gonna have to build some credibility, give also to receive as well. And when you refer them business, like it's very they'll at one point they'll just give you a Word doc and be like, hey, change whatever you need on it. I'll sign off on it. Like you'll get their trust at that point.
Awesome. Awesome. When you are making offers or calling up agents to make offers on the MLS, how are you filtering the MLS?
So we use Privy
Yep.
and also Redfin.
I'm going to
So
pull that up now. Yep.
yeah,
Keep going.
on Redfin, you could kind of put in the characteristics, like you can make a search, right? So you could pull up the characteristics of a house you want. Maybe I want something just in Hillsborough County, Florida, no less than 750 square feet. no minimum than 2 bathrooms, no HOA, and then there also is like a little button that says "Fixer Upper" on Redfin, and I could click that, and then I could save the search, and I could get my search results instantly. And then this way, Redfin, every single time there's a new property that meets this criteria, it'll go into my email. And then I'll just get a bunch of those. I'll also get, when I first set it up, there might be like 150, 1,000 properties that hit that list. And I'll just scroll through them and just start, and you can just start calling one by one. If you
Love
have
it.
a VA, you could make it a little bit more automated, but manually, you do it yourself.
Would you do it
And
yourself to start?
100% did
Why?
everything myself.
Why?
One, you got to figure out what your process is. You can't teach anybody how to do something if you don't even know what you're doing. And
No,
then,
you could just send them YouTube videos, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. See how well that works out. No, you need to do everything yourself first to come up with what is your process. And then when you
Love
come
it.
up with what is your process, you document your process. So when you bring somebody on, whether a VA or not, you have them watch those videos first, read through your SOPs, and then they shadow you, and then you shadow them, and then you meet with them at least weekly to make sure that they understand the training fully. You don't just say, "Here it is, do your thing," and you never check with them. That's the worst thing you could do.
Love it. Well, listen, if you got to build the skills yourself,
Yeah.
because that's what's going to make you a stronger entrepreneur. You got to get in the dirt. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to talk to a tremendous amount of people. You got to build those skills. Then
Yep.
you'll be able to lead other people to be able to do it, and you're going to shortcut their learning curve. Yeah. John,
Yeah.
how can people send you deals? Where do you like doing deals? What's your speciality?
Yeah.
How can people connect?
So on the bottom, you can see that's my Instagram at John Galan REI, and in my bio, there's a link. I have free tools you guys could get, like a buy price calculator, scripts, all that other stuff for agents and buyers. And then if you want to send us deals for Florida only, I'm only working Florida right now. You send it to our portal, which is deals DEALS dot easyres EZYRES.com, and it brings it up. It's a very very easy to use portal, um, and yeah, you'll get instant feedback if we're gonna work the deal, if we like it. If not, we give buy prices in exchange for like 3-day exclusivity to sell the deal, and we usually do sell it. And yeah, that's it. So everybody in Florida, send me your deals.
Awesome. John Galan, everybody. Thanks for being on here. You're the man. Where's the cat?
Cat's outside. I think she's sleeping on the couch on the blanket, or she's looking at the birds in the window.
Awesome. Thanks for being on here, brother.
I appreciate you, man. Thank
You're the
you.
best. Guys, there you go. If you're doing deals in Florida and if you want a really, really, really outstanding cash buyer database and get the deals done, make sure that you're reaching out to John. Yeah, his email, his DMs. Guys, if you have a deal and you DM somebody, for example, John in Florida, and they don't respond for whatever reason, there's just something, life's going on, DM them again. Find another way. Send it to their email. You know what I mean? I mean, he's excellent. He's an absolute pro at responding and jumping all over it. He works really well in the Rhino tribe, and so, but just don't just be like, oh, just one hitter quitter, unless you sell the deal, which awesome, that's amazing. So let's go over a couple tools. All right. John mentioned here. Let me present these tools. Privy is awesome for on market deals, guys. It's a phenomenal. It'll literally give you the best properties to go after that are listed on the MLS. It's absolutely incredible. Not only that, but they give you before and after pictures of comps in the area as well. And they let they help you build your cash buyer database. It's really, really, really good filter for on market deals. This is something most people use this. I love the idea of using Redfin as well and setting up those automatic alerts. That's incredible. Um, Direct to seller. If you're going direct to seller, there's one tool that you need above all others: Deal Machine. Not even close. Deal Machine. You get free skip tracing. You get hooked up. You guys can try it out. If you use the code TTP, you get a free trial. And they're constantly investing in this thing. It's absolutely incredible. They do a really great job. You can pull all the lists. You can pull the distressed property list. You can use this as an app on your phone to drive around, see ugly houses, click a button, and now you're going after the worst looking houses, which is 80% of the first deals that new wholesalers and investors find are just driving for dollars. So it's absolutely phenomenal. Make sure you check that out. If you don't have any budget and you're not willing to sell the plasma in your blood or your bone marrow or your TV or your skateboard or your rollerblades, what else do people sell? Flat screen TVs. I've sold all these things, by the way. What? Feet pics? Feet pics. And you have $0 that you want to put in. Boom, right here. PropWire. Jerry Norton owns this PropWire. It's free. It's a great way to pull data. A deal machine is levels higher. Free skip tracing, more data, more information, more tools. It's a CRM, the whole thing. But if you have $0, PropWire is a great option. I love giving people options. Live your life. Next, guys, this is the number one list. I talk about it all the time until it's not the number one list. But US lead list is bananas. It's absolutely bananas. It is the pre-probates. We do a lot of deals with inherited properties, and US lead list is where we find them. And then when you're ready to take it to the next level, when you really have that good budget for inbound leads, nothing's like pay-per-click. You could talk to the top people making the most money. Everybody does pay-per-click, and we're the best at it. This is my company. You get all of our training, you get access to me, you get all that stuff. But you need to have a good budget. And if you're at a place now where you're ready to get inbound, make sure that you go to talktopeople.com and check that out.
Which would you rather, guys? This is where I put up two ridiculous luxury properties, and I asked you, the audience, to participate and tell me which would you rather own. And we've got some bangers, some absolute bangers today. Okay, we're going to start with number one here. All right, this beautiful Santa Barbara styled home with the tiled roof, the curved windows, of course, the official name of those curved windows. A beautiful pool, play pool, not diving pool, so that you can have all your friends in there, kids and adults alike. And, beautiful scenery. You've got some cool mountains here. You're in the hills. You're probably going to see some nice misty mountains, misty mornings. So that's number one. Boom. Number two is this freaking thing. Holy cow. This is where your kids will get lost. All right. This is Narnia. All right. This is bananas. You got a pool that you swim in, and then you have a pond that I assume you are a koi fish enthusiast. Yeah, indeed. So you can do all that. You got beautiful pine trees here, beautiful driveway. I mean, this really says, hey, Ma, I made it. You know what I mean? This thing is bananas. It's got, 15-car garage, probably apartments everywhere. I think this is a bocce court, a bocce ball court here. So one or two. Would you like the Santa Barbara style estate? I believe this is in California. I believe this is in North Carolina. Both beautiful, beautiful states and beautiful people in both of those. So what would you do? Number one, number two. Make sure that you put in the chat. We need participation here, so put it in the chat. Which one would you take? Number one or number two? All right. Hondra, what do you think? Number two. Okay. Luke, yeah. Lukey. Number one for Luke. Yeah. He wants those beach babes. I get it. That's nice. Number two is tough, though. Ryan Zolan, I'm going to ask you in a second. Don't worry, bud. Yeah, number one or number two. It's a tough one. Obviously, if you have 10 children, this is the Jerry Norton estate. Okay. I would lose my children in a second. They'd be gone for sure. Everybody's going number two. Wow. Oh, Seth, my man, number one. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Absolutely incredible. Isn't it great to think big? You know what I mean? Like you look at the stories of some of these people, and more often than not, they're self made. You know what I mean? More often than not, they've done something in their lives that they've created so much service, so much value to the marketplace that their wealth has just exploded, and then they get to do cool stuff like build houses like that or own houses like that and live that lifestyle. Um, you give me 4,000 square feet, I'm happy. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a little bit bigger, but probably not. I use all 4,000 of my 4,100 of my square feet. I'll tell you that every square foot I use. I remember when I was 26. I bought a 3,500 square foot house with two people, and it was just the dumbest thing of all time. Like I didn't go into any of the rooms. I had to furnish them all. You know what I mean? I had to put beds and bed sets and dressers and mirrors and art and all sorts of things. They had front rooms that needed couches that nobody ever went in. It was like the dumbest thing ever. If I were to go back in time, I truly would have rented. I would have leased a nice place, probably like a swanky condo type of thing, right? With a view, something that wasn't too expensive, but that needed zero maintenance, zero like I didn't have to put $20,000 into furnishing it. 2 bedroom, an office, regular room for sleeping, and lived outside of that. I watched a TikTok, but it's a video of a psychologist. There's a clip of a really long conversation with a psychologist that said the happiest people spend the least amount of time at home, which is interesting. I don't know what they judged happiness by. We certainly have some home bodies. It feels good to be home type of thing. But I will tell you, when I go up to the cabin or when we're rarely home on the weekends, rarely. We're always out and about. We have never, I've never had a weekend since the kids were born that we've been at the house all day, ever, ever. I mean, maybe if we had like a pool party or something, but even then I would be bouncing around. Anyway, guys,
This is going to be awesome. First, we have John Galan. Now we have AI himself. And I'm not talking Allen Iverson. I'm talking about the agent investor himself, Ryan Zoland.
There we go. What's up? How's it going?
Fantastic, brother. How are
I'm
you?
not Allen Iverson, but I mean,
It's working on it.
close enough.
Do you got the AI shirt on? Let's see it.
Always, always, always.
Ah, there it is.
I have to be
Awesome.
like you. I mean, reckon TTP. I got to rep the AI every day. That's how we roll.
That's it. I think Brandon Mitchell in the side chats like, Brent, will you wear your TTP stuff? What are you doing? And I'm wearing the Rhino today. So, and I've been wearing polos more. It's wild. Anyway, how's business? Talk to me.
That's good. We picked back up over the last 60 days. The first beginning half of the year was slow. I think a lot of
Okay.
buyers just weren't really purchasing. We
Yep.
obviously have a little bit of a disadvantage selling deals on the MLS. But with that said, I just noticed that I think rates were too high and buyers were on the sidelines. So,
Got it. And so you're still finding deals on the MLS?
oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like the biggest investor in the world. We're averaging 3 to 5 deals per month, and average
Awesome.
assignment right now, we got it up. That was my biggest focus this year. Last year, it was average about like $7,500. This year, we're up to 13. Uh,
Nice.
so 3 to 5 deals a month, 13,000 average. We're not like struggling. We're paying our bills, and our expense is extremely low. But
Yep.
the volume of deals is just, you know, not where it
So
was.
how do we get a deal off of the MLS?
Well, I think it depends on first what your goal is. Are you trying to buy and hold it? Are you trying to fix and flip it? Are you trying to wholesale it? If you can identify what the exit is first, the acquisition is a little bit easier to identify, in my opinion. So most people
Yeah.
elect wholesale. So you have to identify where the motivated sellers are. It's really
Yep.
not that hard. It's not a day one on property market. It's day 90. It's a house that obviously is not renovated. It's a house where the seller or the agent put in the remarks, motivated seller.
Yep.
So different lens, but depends on the exit.
We'll review all offers.
Literally. My favorite
Right?
this year has been improvement. Like, price improvement is like the
Yeah.
new 2024 way of saying price
Price reduction.
reduce. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We like in our dispo saying renegotiated price.
It's the best. Back on market, seller did this or will credit, will buy down rate, like anything along those lines. We're seeing even no, it's not my forte, creative finance. We're seeing a lot of people in our community succeed with creative finance where the agent puts that the seller is willing to negotiate some sort of
Sure.
term in a public remark. If they're willing to
Awesome.
negotiate a buy down, they're probably willing to negotiate something creative.
Yep. Yep. Love it. So, how do you filter the MLS for deals?
Um, I mean, there's a lot. I do it by days on market. I do it by keywords. There's
Explain
specific.
what days on market is just for anybody that is completely brand new to real estate.
Okay, so Brent and I list a house today. Today is day 0. Tomorrow is day 1. The next day is day 2, and so on. So there's
List a
usually like
house. What does list a house mean?
we employ as the seller of the home a real estate agent to help us sell it. They list it on the MLS, the multiple listing service. This is going to break down not the compensation for the buyer's agent anymore, but everything else as to what
Yeah.
the material facts are for that property you're selling. Then it gets blasted out to everybody else. This is your primary homeowners specifically, or primarily, I should say, and they go in, they search the MLS. They're trying to find properties to either move in, whether it's an investor or a primary homeowner. And then there's agents that use this as basically their everyday way of life. So,
Awesome. Awesome. And so you're waiting 90 days. That's obviously the price is too high. Let me just explain something to everybody. If the price was right, you will get multiple offers on any property in any market in any economy. If the price is right, you will get multiple offers. And I will speak to this from experience because in 2011, 2010 and 11, I was part of a team that listed the most bank owned properties. A Remax team, Scott Gibson and George Lawton had a account with the biggest banks, and they would list these properties. And um, we would put properties on for like $16,000, $60,000, $50,000. It would have multiple offers right away, instantly. Didn't matter.
yep,
So in any market, guys, the buyers determine value, and they're going to look at a deal, and if it's priced right, it's going to sell fast. Which means if every buyer that is looking in a specific area says nope for 90 days, for 3 months, it is priced too high. The seller either needs to get realistic with the price or they need to take it off the market and just hold on to it. Right?
that's it.
Awesome. So
100%.
as an agent, you're an agent. You
Yep.
work with a lot of other agents to teach them how to actually be investors. Is that right?
That's primarily what I do. I spend a lot of time. My acquisitions are automated with my team. I've got a few people that go and they do all the acquisition. I just make the decision now of do we wholesale it, keep it, or flip it. So I spend a lot of time working with realtors, teaching them, JVing deals, helping them close deals, whatever it may be. So I'm pretty much on the forefront when it comes to this strategy specific MLS deals and working with agents
Are you using Privy?
in out of state markets, and I recommend it if you're not licensed. So aside
Yeah.
from that, I'm not using it in Arizona. All love to Privy, but the MLS will always be more superior. So
So if you have direct access to the MLS, how do you? I mean, Privy filters the properties out, right? It shows you the most likely. Are you saying that you are a better filter once you get experienced with your own MLS than Privy could ever be because it's just technology,
and take Privy out of the equation. Whatever the software is, it's built off of an algorithm, which is somebody else's opinion.
right?
The MLS is material fact and information. So the only thing that might be different is how you are filtering it out. So that's part of the reason why I don't allow realtors when I do deals with them to set me up on a search. I don't trust that they're going to set me up with everything that I want to see. So if
Yeah.
you have access to the MLS, yes, through experience, time, plenty of failures and mistakes, you will understand how to use it. But that's much better and more accurate. That's the key part than any other software out there.
Love it. Yeah.
So,
I mean, And once you get like nitty gritty, I love looking at. I look at the MLS every day, literally every day. Like I look around my house, I look around my cabin, I look around the certain comps that we're looking
Oh
at.
yeah.
I look at
Oh
like
yeah.
old school like areas that are really popular. I like just looking for. It's just a wonderful way to scout for deals. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And um, I think that's one of the unsung heroes of getting your real estate license is being able to get like that pumped straight into your veins.
Hmm.
Because yeah, you can have Redfin. Yeah, you can have Realtor. Yeah, you can have Zillow. But the fact is they're always going to be a little delayed. There's that you can set up your own really nitty gritty, really refined searches in the MLS.
Yep.
And when you have a license, hi, this is Ryan Zolan with who are you with? What's the brokerage?
Real broker. Yep.
Real with real brokerage instantly you're you're
They're
you're
like their guard
you're
goes down.
trusted,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're
All
you're
the
you're
time.
one of them. You know what I mean? You're part of the thing. So, what other benefits to getting a license, Ryan?
So MLS is the first and foremost.
Yep,
Most agents pay for the dues every year, call it $1,000, but they don't close deals or
right.
they don't know how to best benefit from using what they're paying for. So the MLS is first. Second, if you're doing deals virtually nationwide, if you're a wholesale or investor friendly agent, you can refer business to other states where you're not doing deals and get a referral fee as a licensed realtor. I
Yep.
didn't know if people realize this or not, but you can't get a commission paid to you on a deal if you're not a realtor. So being licensed, you can go and refer the deal to somebody else. I don't care what the exit is, wholesale, novation, listing, primary homeowner, whatever. You can get a referral. Third, go and you get the deals yourself. You source them yourself on the MLS.
Yep.
I make over six figures a year as a realtor that does not show homes.
Right.
So just to be very clear, I am the worst realtor in this entire live right here. And I make more money than the average realtor will in 2 years based off of just having the real estate license and asking for compensation from the sellers. That's it.
Love it. Well, the referral fees. I mean, at some point, when you've got your business is really rocking, and you've got inbound leads coming in, you're going to get retail leads,
All the
and
time.
so we refer it 50%. Boom. You know what I
We
mean?
do a lot with Matt Potter where
Yeah.
I call him up and I'm like, "Yo, this agent is an idiot. They listed it way too high. The writing on the wall is that it's going to clearly be a short sale." I'll call the listing agent back, say, "Hey, we could help you." Refer it over to a friend. The friend pays me a percentage, and all I did was my acquisition job anyway. But I collected a fee off of something that most people would just say is a dead lead.
Awesome. How do you
So.
get proof of funds?
Well, we're on a show where I feel like the value is what we're trying to provide. So don't pay for one. Don't go to some bullshit website. Literally,
Yeah.
the only answer is a local hard money lender. I don't know where this confusion happened over the last 5, 6 years, but if
Yep.
you're getting a fake proof of funds, you really shouldn't be submitting offers.
Right.
So, local hard money lender, or if you really want to get creative, ask your buyers for either their proof of funds, their bank account, or whatever with exclusivity to bringing the deals to them, and they'll be more than happy to provide whatever they need.
Are
So.
you locking up the deals and assigning them, or are you representing your cash buyers on offers?
Great question. We've always represented ourselves. The way I structure it is my fiance is my transaction coordinator. So she is the agent on the transaction. I'm the principal, the buyer. And then from there, the sellers, what used to happen was they were offering co-broke that was accessible for us to see on the MLS.
Yep.
Now there's a few extra steps. We just have to request it in a seller compensation addendum. So in our offers, we're requesting I don't know what I'm supposed to say here, but I think it kind of fits with the show for you. We
Yeah.
request one banana per deal by the seller. And if they say yes, great. If they don't, no worries. We don't have to compensate our agent because we are our own agent.
1%,
Yeah,
one banana.
one banana.
That is bananas. There you go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, Amazing. So, are you working with a tight group of buyers, or do you just are you still building your cash buyer database and putting it out to all the buyers? Because a lot of agents are on big lists, big dispo lists. And so when you lock up a deal with an agent and then they see that listing being wholesaled, Sometimes there's confusion, sometimes there's anger, sometimes there's curiosity. So, what do you do for that?
You know, I will be honest here. I've never found success with blasting deals that I have under contract or that anybody has under contract that are from the MLS. If it's
Yeah.
an off market referral from a realtor, different conversation. But if it's an on market listing, it's an agent's listing, you're right. It does make its way back to them. And as much as I want to agree that most of the time the agent is the one that sees it, most agents are not that competent. It's the slimy, shady investor that calls from that list. They'll skip trace the property and call the seller, or they'll pull it up and see it's active, pending, or whatever. And they'll say, yo, did you know
Yep.
that so and so just sent this out at blah, 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 blah? So I work with a tight knit group. I'm proud to say it's bigger than what it was last we spoke. I think last we
Good.
spoke it was like 10. We're at
Yep.
like 50. So
Awesome.
50
So you're not
buyers.
just selling everything to Templeton Walker anymore.
Not just a temp. Temp, look, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I made a lot of money off of temp, and he made a
Yep.
lot more money, so it was a
Yes.
win-win. But no, definitely not just with one buyer anymore.
Awesome, bro. Absolutely. Guys, I think we hit on a really important topic there. If you're getting deals on the MLS, I think the smarter option is have a really good group of 25 to 50 buyers that you trust, that you know will close, that aren't going to just dispo your deal to somebody else. Cause I cannot tell you, Ryan, how many times, and I never sign up for the list, but I'm on the lists, right? The wholesale lists. They just put you on there.
Yep.
And it's like, I go, wow, huh? Where'd they get this deal? I bet it's on the MLS. And I look, it's on the MLS.
Oh
And
yeah.
they sold it to somebody else that they thought was a buyer, which is just a disposition company
Oh yeah.
that then put it out there to everybody on like Investor Lift. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh.
And then, I mean, can you,
Oh,
whoever
and
it
then
is
it
at
just
the end?
causes so much that's what causes the heartburn between agents and wholesalers. Is the
Yes.
wholesalers that are just taking any of these deals, they're putting it on Investor Lift without permission. Our own deals, Ryan, were on Investor Lift without permission. Like they weren't even locked up. They had no, we didn't assign it to them. They literally were on our list. They
What
took the information, put it on Investor Lift to sell themselves. We had to literally put all of our deals on Investor Lift because once they're
Mhm.
on there, nobody else can put them on
Nobody
there.
else can do it. I was just going to ask you, what would you equate to that being the thing? Because I've seen this go again sideways, even similar to the proof of funds conversation. Disposition wholesaling used to just be as simple as daisy chaining is bad.
Yeah.
Now it's a whole blown thing where you're not even like asking for permission. You're just taking other people's deals, daisy chaining it, but times 10 with
Yep.
multiple people. What would you say has been the biggest like cause of that?
Technology. I mean, before there was an Investor Lift, so everything was tighter. There wasn't an open market for wholesale deals, and so once Investor Lift got around, and it's a wonderful platform. It's fantastic. It, but people are just taking deals and putting it on there, and without any permission, and saying, oh, I got a buyer, I want to buy it.
Yep.
If somebody reaches out to them, so it's just too much telephone, the game telephone. Boom, I got this guy still. It just playing, and then things get all screwed up. And if there's an agent involved, you're going to piss them off, and then
Yep.
the whole industry gets crapped on, and that's why there's more regulations.
I
That's why
couldn't
there's
agree
more
more.
regulations. And so, because the realtors are on the board of the real estate department, real estate department makes suggestions to the local government to as to what should be allowed and what shouldn't be allowed, and how they should be allowed. And then
Yep.
they get an attorney, and then the attorney puts together the right verbiage, and nobody fights it, and it pushes through, and then all of a sudden you have to have a license, and or you can't do any wholesaling. That's exactly what's happening, and it's because of this.
Exactly.
It's because of
And
the classic daisy chain. Now listen, you lock up a deal, you get a deal assigned to you, and you want to send it out to somebody else, but you put your money in there, you put the 5,000 non-refundable in, you've got really solid buyers. I'm fine with that. You know what
different
I mean?
conversation. You have skin in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. I think that the realtors, there's three main topics that I've heard talking to some of the real estate commissioners. Creative finance is up at the top,
Yep.
compensation was up at the top, and wholesaling regulations is up at the top.
Yeah.
They've already taken care of compensation. Wholesaling regulations is next, and then I think creative finance is the
Well,
third option.
let me put this to it, because Lishana asked this question, and I love it. With all the new regulations coming soon, what would you suggest an inspiring wholesaler to do? One, um, keep wholesaling. I mean, keep finding good deals. I mean, you have to understand the way that I look at wholesaling. Wholesaling is the art of finding discounted properties. Assignments is an exit strategy. Wholesaling is finding great deals. Wholesaling is getting a property at a good discount because they want to trade price for speed and convenience. What would you say to Lishan here?
Um, to take it what you said and put a bow on top, I would say that I reframe the word wholesaling to acquisitions
Yep.
because what you have to understand, and I really have been beating this point all year long. There's 4 acquisition strategies. There's JVs,
Yep.
there's direct to seller, there's MLS, and working with agents.
Boom.
That's it.
Yeah.
So when you say aspiring wholesaler, do you have money to spend? If so, go direct to seller. If you have time to spend, I would recommend JV. If you don't have money and you have minimal time, MLS and agents are the only place I'd recommend going because you'll be the most efficient, knowing you'll make mistakes with limited time.
What do you
Uh,
mean JV, Ryan?
so JV is where you could be either the person that is on the front end, where you are part of the acquisition side, finding the deal, or you're on the part of selling the deal. So what is your best strength? And then how do you provide value to the current situation? Is it helping the person that found the deal find a buyer, or is it
Yeah.
finding a deal and then helping or trying to find someone help you find a buyer? So
Yeah. If you're going to do that, you might as well get a license.
yeah, that's exactly where I was bringing it to, is that if you are not in the business of getting a license in the next 6 to 12 months, get a realtor on your team. That is the closest thing to a loophole you'll have to hold on to for the next 12 months.
I like this. And by the way, Lishan, finding properties, the skill of finding proper great deals is always and has always been a highly paid skill.
Hmm.
So don't let any of that mess with you. Um, I would highly suggest. I think most states are going to require a license. I think it's going to be real rare that they completely block assignments as it is. I think that that will come under fire actually
I agree.
in a lot of ways and be that'll get rolled back a little bit or there'll be some asterisks by those things and some ways to be able to do that because I just don't it just seems silly but find the deals, head down, build it right, finding deals, raising money, managing properties. I mean that those are the stages of this thing. So Hugo de Hoyes says, who pays the realtor now after the NAR lawsuit? Me as a wholesaler or the cash buyer?
Hmm. So I always like to lead with this point just because I've had a few things with associations keeping eyes on me. Um, Sellers have never been forced to pay compensation, commission, anything like that. Buyers have never been forced to pay it either. So now it's just an additional step, similar to when someone sued McDonald's because the coffee was hot. Now we have an additional form, additional process to be put in place.
Yep.
So, what the new norm looks like, sellers have conversations with the listing agents. They come to an agreement on what the compensation is from seller to listing agent. Some listing agents will set the expectation. You might get an agent that comes in requesting compensation. Be prepared for that. The bad agents won't prepare the seller for that. So when they get hit with it, the seller will probably just say no, the property will sit. So
Yep.
then on the other side, I think this is the question he's asking. The buyers are going to be asked by the buyer's agents to sign buyer broker agreements prior to showing homes, prior to giving you any advice, prior to setting you up on a search, sending any offers, doing any negotiations, anything. So
Yep.
what you have to be willing to do is compensate the realtor if the seller is not. So you can ask the seller if they're willing to compensate your agent, but if they say no, what's your plan? Goes back to that one banana. And
Yep.
then last part here, I'm not requiring my end buyers to pay it. It's going to be between the buyer broker with me and the realtor. Having my end buyer pay a closing cost, which is compensation, is now getting into the conversation of collusion.
Yep.
You pay it.
Why are associations looking at you, bro?
Um, the double dip was not really appreciated, I would say. I'm a capitalist, so let's just put that out there. But that's part of the reason why Amber represents me in transactions. And once she has my last name, it'll be Matt. But it's fine. We have plans in place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
cool.
Ryan, you're the best.
Appreciate
Love
you,
you,
bro.
buddy. Guys,
Love you.
Ryan is there. That's That is his Instagram. He's got an incredible team at Real Brokerage. If you want to really take it to the next level, you got your license or you're getting your license, you want an investor focused mentor, leader, coach, teacher. This is your path. This isn't spend 40 grand at some conference. This is real deal. Get in there and connect with Ryan. I assume just DM you, right?
Yeah, DM's fine. Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
cool.
Thanks for
Appreciate
being
you
on
for
here, brother.
Thank you so much for having me.
See you,
Appreciate you.
man. Jacob closed a 10K off the MLS as a side note. Would love to jump on here one day and talk MLS. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. We are going to do some shows, by the way. That we'll just bring you guys into the show, the live show, and we'll just answer questions or talk about whatever you want to talk about. So that'll be a lot of fun. C Reb said, "Hey Brent, have you heard of Enzo Dialer? I have not. I'd be curious to know what it is. But yeah, I haven't heard of Enzo. We always used Mojo. It was really easy. But I feel like there's a lot of good dialer technologies that are taking over. So that's awesome. Um, Mojo's still the best according to Hondra. Have you heard of that, Enzo, or no? No. Okay. April, do you double close? Big old grinny smiley face. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I'll just close and then do a lease back to the property owner because they need some more time to get their money and then move out and do all that type of thing. So we've been doing a lot more of just buying the property and then putting it out to our list. We actually make more putting it out to our private list once we own it than on the actual MLS, if you'll believe it. There's just the buyers are more seasoned on our list, so they understand the process, they understand the speed of which we're trying to do things, which is really, really, really cool. So, yeah, guys, we've got. I don't know what Tom's doing. Oh, here we go. Sandra, Brent, love your content. I've been following you for a while and wondered about the 10% on properties under 200K. No, that should be 100K, Sandra. So under 200, I'll show you here. Dylan, I see you, brother. Great to see you. What Sandra's talking about is this. And it's not 200K, it's the 100K, right? It's this one right here that is 10%. That's where you want to go. Not 200K. Don't offer 10% on a $200,000 house. I mean, do it. But the likelihood of success is much lower. So it's 10%. So 50, 35, 10. By the way, guys, that used to be 66, 50, and 25%. In the heat of the day, 2021, 2022, 66, 50, and 25%. That's how bananas the market used to be, and it'll be that way again someday. You know what I mean? We'll see after everything that happens after this year, and where inflation's at and where the economy's at and all that. But when the economy's flat or kind of turbulent, you want to be more aggressive with your offers, or it just won't happen. Boom. Dylan Trana, what's up, man? You're muted. You're super muted.
How you doing, Brent?
Are you making calls or what?
Yes, sir.
To who?
Realtors in Arizona.
Nice. And are you calling them up for on market properties, or are you just calling them up to build relationship?
Mostly building relationships, but then, I'm always staying in touch with them. So if they do got an on-market deal, I'm always checking those out and seeing if there's good opportunity to offer on it.
How many conversations do you have in a day?
I try to call between 100 and 200 times. Usually when I'm in the flow, I'm currently at like a coffee shop in Croatia, and then like
What?
we got Matthew Justice and Brandon. They're just doing deals right next to me.
In Croatia right now,
Yes.
and you're still doing work.
Yes, sir.
How long are you there for?
Just until Saturday.
That is incredible. And so what time is it there?
It's just about to be 10.
PM?
Yep.
And you're making calls.
Yeah. We start like 6 o'clock here because that's 9 Arizona time.
How's your income this year?
It's been our best year so far. I think we're just about to hit 500K in total revenue and assignment fees.
What are we talking about?
Oh,
How old are you, Dylan?
I'm 22. I'm 23. My bad. My bad. My bro is 22.
Michael Jordan, bro. I love it. 23 years old, $500,000. It is August, by the way. It's amazing what happens when you talk to people,
It is. Yes,
right?
and I remember day one just watching your videos, waking up in the morning just to get fired up so I can just be on the phones all day because at the beginning it's so tricky.
Yeah.
But you know, you just need mentors like you. You've been a mentor for my brother and I from day one, and it just speeds up everything that you're looking for.
Well, I'll tell you the greatest compliment you can give somebody that you teach is they actually do it. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
actually take the massive imperfect action every single day, and you guys decided that you guys were going to go direct to real estate agents as opposed to direct to seller off the bat. You've been really building that up. Do you guys have a balance direct to seller, or are you guys still 99% agent?
Yeah, I'd say we're like 65% agent and then 35 like dispoing for other wholesalers.
How many conversations do you think you've had about real estate with strangers?
Let's see, like 6 days a week, 50 conversation. I don't. It has to be over 10, 15,000.
I love it. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's that's you know 300 conversation. Let's call it 250 a week for how many years? 2 years now?
3.5.
3.5 years.
Yep.
Man, that flew by. I remember when you came into the office, you had the long hair. You're
Yep.
from North Dakota or South Dakota? Which one?
Minnesota, but I was living in
Minnesota.
North Dakota.
What's that?
I was living in North Dakota right before I moved down.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got that right. All right.
Yep.
So talk to when you call up agents, what do you say to them?
I just say, hey, what's up? I'm Dylan. I'm looking for something in town, needing some work just to work on as a project. And I got some other guys in town. Just I'm kind of like letting them know I got buyers too. Like I can be a wholesaler if needed.
Yep.
Like, hey, I got some of my buddies in town looking for deals. Like Matthew Justice right here, he's a buyer. So like I'm, telling the truth. Like my buddies are buyers, and just from talking to them,
Yep.
hey, we're looking for something in town that needs some work. Do you know anything that's coming up? We can take a look at, have a little project over the summer. Just try to keep it super simple, nothing crazy. I'm looking for a house that's old, an ugly house.
Very, very specific. Do they say, are you buying cash?
Yep, yep, cash or hard money.
Okay. And then you're not necessarily just calling on listed properties. You're calling on you're calling every agent that you can.
Yes, yeah. Pace and Jamil like had like a list for the entire Astro community of all the realtors in Arizona, but you can just
Yep.
go to your title company, and that's what list we use now. We just have our title company gave us a list of every realtor in Arizona, and so we're just reaching out to them. And then the most important part is we stay in touch with them. We don't just talk to them one time. We get in touch with them and we check in every 2 to 3 weeks, just staying on top of mind. And
Awesome.
I seen Ryan pop up too, but Ryan Zolan was a huge help to my brother and I. He let us come into his office right once we were getting started in the game, and he's been a massive help to us, making sure that we were doing deals and doing it correctly too.
Awesome. So, by the way, guys, if you don't have a title company that has access to the realtor list, you can You can Google Dr. Bill's real estate agent list, and you can download that. That's pretty accurate. You can go on to realtor.com. I mean, it's a much slower list. It's tougher to pull and put into an Excel. And I assume you put it into a dialer. Is that right?
Yes, but until we did 25 deals, we were literally just off of our cell phones and on
I know,
realtor.com.
bro.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, yeah, we would just realtor.com and we would just call. Arizona pops up. You got, 14,000 agents on realtor.com just alone to choose from, and we would just everyone.
Yep. I love it. And Why are you making these calls yourself? Why not just hire a $4 or $5 an hour VA to make these calls for you?
I don't. They just can't really build a relationship. And I do have one rock star. He is like a virtual assistant, but he's so much more than that because he actually is about to close on his third deal here, and he's calling from Nigeria in Phoenix, and he's about to do his third agent deal. But he's just built different. He's just on another level, and he's just found a way to be able to connect with them. But he does what we do and actually just be a person on the phone and continues talking with them and checking in. But I don't think hiring someone to try to build the relationships for you is the way to go. You
Right.
need to you need to be a real person with these agents because they just want to talk to someone that's real. They
Let me
yeah.
let me explain something also, and this is a topic that a lot of people get kind of cringe over. Is when you're calling property owners, there's something called a DNC. It's called a do not call list. Okay, and there's been more bigger companies are getting popped by people that are trying to sue them over calling them on the do not call several times, and texts, by the way. Guess what doesn't uh uh get affected by the do not call? Realtors' phone numbers. It's a commercial number. Even if it's their cell phone, it's a commercial number. It is wide open. Wide open. You could put it in you could go bananas. You could go absolutely bananas calling real estate agents and having a good conversation. I highly suggest you do it yourself for a while. I highly suggest you don't do like an AI nonsense or any of these other things that people are trying to sell right now. The guys that actually make money in this business, $500,000. We're in August right now. They do it themselves. They build the skills. They've been doing it for 3.5 years of staying in the saddle. They bring on great talent because they know how to train great talent because they've done the work, guys. There's no skipping it. Not in this business. There's no skipping it. You might be able to trick the industry for a little bit. You could maybe even trick the industry for a year with some of the marketing channels that people pop up, but you can't build a long lasting, predictable, profitable business unless you build the skills of effectively having conversations, making offers, right?
Yes, sir.
Dude, Croatia. The guys, he's in Croatia. If you're just joining right now, show the rest of the show. Matt, show Brandon. Boom! Look at these guys. Look at these guys. Look at him. Look at his brother. Look at his brother. Look at Brandon. He's like got the headset on. People in Croatia are like, "What is happening?" Oh my gosh! It's 10 o'clock. You guys are like, "Yeah, would you? Can I buy your house?" Oh my gosh, Dimitri Van Camp would be so pumped with you right now. Is he on today? Probably not. I haven't seen him, but so awesome. Well, congratulations. Give some advice for anybody starting out, looking to get their first deal from an agent or on the MLS. What advice would you give them?
The biggest thing, honestly, and I have someone on my act team who just closed. He's going to close his first actual deal. We've sold a couple of his deals. He's got under contract and took the buyer's earnest money, but Friday is going to be his actual first closing of a deal. And he's been trying, and we told him it takes 90 days. You need 3 months of just doing the one strategy. Don't even
Yep.
talk to wholesalers. Don't talk to sellers. I need you to talk to agents for 90 days. And at about day 70, he says, "Ah, man, I don't know if this is going to work." And we're like, "Dude, you're right there." And now it's like day 77, and we just had a seller back out of a contract, but they gave us 10 grand. So already made, instead of filing a memorandum or anything, they just wanted out of the contract. They were an investor, and he has a $20,500 deal closing on Friday. And he, like a week ago, was saying, "Oh, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing." And we're like, "You just need to get to 90 days and it closes."
Yep.
Like, you need to do 90 days. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you give it 30 days, it's not going to work.
Listen, that's the make or break. That's the great filter for real estate entrepreneurs. Can you consistently do the tough work for 90 days with no payoff? None. Not only that, but all the negativity gets thrown your way on what are you doing and get a job and why don't you find some security in your life, blah 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 blah, whatever, right? That 90 days is critical. It's the crucible. It's the filter, that it's the fire we have to walk through to be able to make it. And once you do, and you're on the other side, and you close some deals, and you get that first wire or check, cashier's check into your bank account. Woo! Your
Woo.
brain changes from just picking up this thing. That's it.
Yep.
So You guys are amazing. Give my love to everybody there, and
Yes, sir.
have a great, safe trip. Get some deals, and thanks for joining us, Dylan.
Thanks, Brent. You're a massive part of why we're here, brother. So thank you so much.
Awesome. You just need encouragement. It goes back to what we started in the beginning of the show when I gave my pig pen analogy. That's what it is. Every day people used to just go out and hunt pigs to eat, and then they'd have to keep hunting and hunting and hunting. And then somebody figured out, let's put up a fence and let's nurture this, and let's build something, and let's not let the naysayers get us, and build something strong, and protect it and make it important. And then all of a sudden you've got something that's feeding everybody. Now you got more time for other things. Now you have more control over your life. You're not always out there hunting. The people hunting pigs every day, or that's a job. The people that build these pens, that take the risk, that do it during the times that they would rather be just chilling. People that have that extra motor, that big motor, that fire in the belly. That's who builds really big business, and we're all that's it. That is the life of an entrepreneur. That first 90 days is going to be tough. It's going to be a fight, but you got to go through it. It's going to be the toughest thing. Being an entrepreneur is going to be is the toughest thing. But if you want to own real estate, you want to build real wealth, unless you're a really, really, really highly paid professional and you have really high financial IQ, um, it's not going to happen. So let's make it happen. Let's have conversations. Let's make offers, and let's win. Got it? Awesome. Love you guys.